The opera Billy Budd is set on a frigate of war in 1797, the HMS Indomitable, and we've decided for this production to locate it exactly there. You'll see behind me part of the set, which is part of the ship.
We wanted to create a sense of claustrophobia and a sense of being entrapped. I wanted the body of the ship to be like the belly of a whale. When you take the cladding off a boat, you end up with, you know, a rib cage in the same way that, you know, an animal has a rib cage sort of thing. So that's what basically this structure is. It's just a giant rib cage that has the galleries and the decks all kind of, you know, connecting it.
The job with the lighting is to kind of change the mood within the ship in terms of the atmosphere, very much relating to weather and to day, time of day, day and night and things. Also to give you a sense of movement and vitality within the space. So there's lots of people in there. You don't want to see all the detail of that. You want to kind of paint it gently. But we use a lot of very directional light coming through the ship itself to give a sense of where people are looking, to give a sense of where the weather's coming from, the time of day. There's the nighttime scene when the sailors are all singing to each other. You know, at points like that, we're not bringing light in from outside, all the light's coming in from within the space. So in simple terms, I'm just telling the same story that the opera's telling. I just need to bring alive what Britten's done. And Michael and Christopher's design is very much about that. It's setting an environment where the opera can play.
From a director's point of view, the starting point of any piece of work is trying to get back into the creator's head and what they imagined. I think that's one of the most exciting jobs of an interpretive artist. I'm not the kind of director who enjoys immediately looking at a time and a place set by a writer and then going, let's not do that. It gives me more pleasure to try and interpret something that was clear for them when they first set about writing it and trying to bring that clarity to a new production. And so it's always been of interest to me to use their starting point as my starting point. It's one of the satisfying parts of the job because it is peculiarly liberating. When there's this many people on stage, they will see the fight through a group reacting, both as individuals in the group and as a group. And that's what we need to just help with this narrative. I was first asked to do Billy Budd about 3.5 years ago. So Mark Elder was on board from the beginning, as was Christopher Oram, the designer, and the three of us got together to discuss the setting.
Well, yeah, when it came to Glyndebourne, first off, to sort of talk to the guys here about doing it, the auditorium itself is a very beautiful, very specific shape, and is very evocative of nautical architecture, the curved nature of it, and the warm wooden tones of it. And it's sort of, and it's in its tiers and its galleries, it kind of felt very much like decks of a ship as well. I mean, it was something that we kind of thought was quite a useful tool in order to give us a starting place.
It was one of the single key moments as to defining why we wanted to set it on this ship. And we've tried to use the continuing lines of the auditorium onto the stage in order to be able to tell the story that when the audience are actually in the auditorium, they are also in this vessel with us.
When Veer stands on the quarterdeck commanding his ship here, he commands the entire auditorium because it's all one continuous shape.
Mr. Redman, sight the long 18s. We'll try a shot. Stand by, it is ready.
What do I want the audience to leave feeling? I want them to have my response to the piece. I want them to be heartbroken. I just want them to be as moved by Billy Budd as I am. I don't want them to notice the lighting. I just want it to be part of something that tells this story as well as it can.
reality, at the end of the day, the idea is to communicate ideas and to serve one person, which is the writer.
Starry here, God bless you.
Yeah, and then to engage an audience with it, and not, and allow an audience to understand the piece and understand the structure of the set in the same way. So.
We've put together a team that has been a wonderful journey for all of us, and has resulted in a new production at Glyndebourne of Billy Budd, the first in its history.